The first official trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has been released online and screened in theatres around the globe in front of Avatar: Fire and Ash. After the footage in the IMAX prologue last week, this is another fantastic new look at the auteur blockbuster filmmaker's latest feature. The footage itself promises a tense, visceral and epic cinematic experience with incredible performances, filmmaking and sound design in the director's latest project. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my in-depth breakdown of every shot and my reaction to the Odyssey trailer, presenting my thoughts on what was seen and what I think about Christopher Nolan's new fantasy epic. The trailer will be linked in the pinned comment down below if you haven't seen it already. Before I get into my breakdown of the trailer though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey film, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into the first trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So the 1 minute and 53 second trailer, which was shown in front of Avatar 3 in theatres, has finally been released online for everyone to see. It's a tremendous look at the film, which is promising to be more grand and tension filled than we expected. And the trailer opens with what looks to be the fallout from the siege of Troy. We see the graves of those who died in the fight, and then a shot of Benny Safdie's Agamemnon turning around in his armour to look at Matt Damon's Odysseus, with the latter kneeling. Odysseus narrates over this, saying, "After years of war, no one can stand between my men and home." It's a great start to the trailer, and if you saw the IMAX prologue, you'll know how epic the opening of the movie is shaping up to be. I did a whole breakdown on what was seen in that 6-minute prologue, so I'd recommend checking that out for more details on the footage included. Anyway, the next shots of the trailer show Odysseus walking with his men through a forest. We then cut to what looks to be the royal palace in Ithaca, and as Damon says the word home, we get a quick glimpse of Tom Holland's Telemachus and Anne Hathaway's Penelope. Following this, the rest of the trailer then begins to show us moments from the rest of Odysseus' journey. We see shots of him and his men on the bumpy seas, and then a few shots that were seen in the IMAX prologue, including the one from inside the Trojan horse as they are pulled into Troy. There's the moment where one of Odysseus' men is seemingly stabbed, but the difference in this trailer from what we got in the prologue is that the sword goes behind him. In the prologue, there was a clear indication of the sword impaling him, so I think that change is mainly due to the rating, so that it could be shown in theatres in front of Avatar. Maybe it could also be signalling that the film will be rated R, but we have no definitive confirmation on that yet. Anyway, we then come to my favourite part of the new trailer, which is the cave sequence featuring the Cyclops. Odysseus walks in, pulling out his sword, and then after a shot of him looking upward, we cut to the animatronic Cyclops coming towards him and his men from inside. The Cyclops looks haunting and absolutely massive in compared to Odysseus' men, and honestly, just after seeing this and the shot of him in the IMAX prologue, it might be the most hyped I've been for a scene from an upcoming Nolan movie. It makes you wonder how Nolan might tackle some of the other creatures in the film as well, especially since it was reported that he's going to use even more animatronics and even miniatures for them too. Moving on though, we next see an establishing shot of the men running away from the cave and back up towards the boats, presumably being a part of that same Cyclops sequence. And then cue in another mythical moment, this time one that gives us our first glimpse of Odysseus in the underworld. In Homer's The Odyssey, the underworld, also known as Hades, is depicted as a dark underground place at the far edges of the world, and it's where the souls of the dead exist. Odysseus travels there to seek guidance from the prophet Tiresias, and in the trailer, the setting is presented as unsettling and grim, with footage that shows the dead emerging from the ground. So I think this is definitely footage from the underworld. After this, there are a few brief shots of Odysseus and his men battling the stormy seas. In the epic, Odysseus and his men fight the seas with their boats at several points in the story, primarily in Book 9, 10 and 12. These storms are typically sent by the gods, either through Zeus or Poseidon, as a form of punishment or to hinder their journey back home to Ithaca. The Cattle of the Sun in Book 12 is the most destructive storm, and I think that's what we are seeing in this trailer. After being stranded on an island for a month, Odysseus' men, against explicit warnings from the prophet Tiresias and Circe, slaughter and eat the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios while Odysseus is away. In retaliation, Helios asks Zeus to punish them. And when they set sail, Zeus sends a massive storm with a thunderbolt that destroys Odysseus' ship and kills every man aboard. That is, except Odysseus, who survives by clinging to a makeshift raft. If you remember the footage from the Odyssey teaser trailer back in July, we saw Odysseus in those moments following the storm where he clings to his raft alone. So based on that and what happens in Book 12 of the Odyssey, I think that's what we might be seeing here. And then finally, the last bit of footage from the trailer features a moment of pure emotion between what looks to be Anne Hathaway's Penelope and Matt Damon's Odysseus. She holds onto him and says, "Promise me you will come back," and Odysseus replies, "What if I can't?" It's a moment that suggests that Odysseus' journey is going to be an extremely difficult one to survive, and it promises on the director's part that he's going to try his absolute best to capture that journey in the most grueling fashion possible. So what did I think of the new trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? Well, as expected, Nolan's film looks to be giving us a striking and atmospheric reinterpretation of the classic epic, immediately signalling a bold and intense vision. This definitely looks like both an audacious and mythic take on Homer's ancient story, and both the focus on Matt Damon's Odysseus and then glimpses of Tom Holland's Telemachus and Anne Hathaway's Penelope suggest that the director might be using a multi-strand narrative across time to tell this story. Instead of simply following Odysseus from Troy to Ithaca, Nolan looks to be cutting between Odysseus' perilous voyage, Penelope's struggle to maintain control at home, and then based on the teaser trailer in July, Telemachus' search for identity and the truth about his father. This approach suits Nolan's style because he often uses fragmented narratives to explore themes of time, memory, and identity, encouraging viewers to actively engage with the story on a deeper level rather than just passively consume it. And applying this structure to the Odyssey reflects the epic's thematic depth too. Odysseus is not just a wandering hero, but a husband, father, and legend whose absence profoundly affects others. A multi-strand narrative can highlight the emotional cost of his journey while building tension through dramatic irony as the audience understands connections between characters long before they reunite. So ultimately, I think the footage suggests that this approach will be effective because it looks like it's modernizing an ancient epic, preserving its complexity and atmosphere, and mirroring the central idea that heroism is shaped not only by adventure, but by endurance, loyalty, and the passage of time. Another standout for me was the brief glimpse we got at the potential performances. While it mostly only includes Matt Damon's weary yet resolute Odysseus, it highlights that Nolan is placing human endurance at the centre of his telling and using strong performances to show that. Damon looks great in the central role, and he brings all of the characters' presence in just a short trailer. The atmosphere of the trailer is what I think gives it its impact, highlighting that the film is indeed going to centre on the deeper exploration of the human experience. And I have to talk about how gorgeous this trailer looks visually. As expected from a Nolan film shot entirely on IMAX 70mm film cameras, the frame is massive and immersive, and every environment from caves to stormy seas feels palpably lived in. Watching the Trojan horse be manoeuvred into position in the IMAX prologue captured the full weight of the Siege of Troy moment, and this trailer only expands on moments like that, especially with a glimpse of the Cyclops and then also the underworld. I think there's a clear tonal choice visually that sets this trailer apart from many modern blockbusters that we see today. The palette is muted and earth-toned, and like other Nolan epics, it's serious in its dramatic stakes. This isn't a highly saturated fantasy spectacle, it's a story steeped in struggle, fate, and the primal fear of the unknown. It feels like the kind of cinema we've missed in Hollywood, and when projected on the giant IMAX screen that I saw it on, it feels like a true cinematic event. Furthermore, Ludwig Göransson's score in the trailer immediately establishes a strong and haunting tone. From the opening moments, the score creates an unsettling atmosphere that draws the audience completely in. The original composition by Göransson sounds similar to what we got in the prologue, in that it brings an apocalyptic and eerie quality that steadily intensifies as the trailer unfolds. The gradual build-up in tension enhances the impact of the visuals and reinforces both the sense of unease and the importance of the movie's central journey. It's highly effective at signalling that this will be a darker interpretation of the Odyssey story, while still retaining its mythic nature. So as a first big look into the tense, emotional and mythic core of Nolan's adaptation, the trailer hints at something that balances spectacle with soul, setting audience expectations for a story that's as much about internal endurance as it is about legendary feats. I think it's one of his most effective trailers, and like with the IMAX prologue, I don't know if I can wait until July because it truly looks like an incredible piece of epic cinema. But that was my video discussing my thoughts and breaking down the official trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Overall, the latest footage offered a thrilling glimpse of Nolan's film, showcasing sweeping visuals and a strong sense of tension tied to Odysseus' journey. It's shaping up to be another finely crafted Nolan production, featuring powerful performances, striking imagery, and a thunderous score by Ludwig Göransson. If this is any indication, it's set to deliver one of the defining cinematic experiences of this decade, and I'm eager to see more as additional footage is released in the months ahead. Now, of course, the actual film could very well end up disappointing us, but all we can go on is what we've seen in the marketing leading into the main course. And as a first main trailer, I think this did exactly what it needed to. But if you've already seen the new trailer for the film, or even the IMAX prologue in theatres, let me know down below in the comments section what you thought of the new footage from The Odyssey, alongside whether it gets you even more excited for Christopher Nolan's epic film. For much more videos and news on Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey film, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.